Right, okay, so before we start the video, do me a favour. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, do it now. What it does, it pushes this video out to YouTube and lets other people see the video, and also hopefully stop them from making the same mistake that I did by purchasing an electric car and being thousands of pounds in debt. So do that now, hit the subscribe button, and also share this on social media. Send it to your friends, push it out everywhere, put it on X or Twitter or whatever he wants to call it these days, and also on Facebook as well, if people still use Facebook. Do people still use Facebook these days? Anyway, pop it on social media. Crikey, that bus is a bit close, and that's because this car is so wide, because it is an electric car. Right, so in today's vlog I am going to tell you the reality of what it's like living with an electric car and why you should not buy an electric car, as I'm suffocating on the fumes from the Range Rover or the Land Rover that's in front of me. That's terrible. So there we go. So I'm going to give you the actual reality of what it's like living with an electric car. I've had one now for coming up to 3 years, and I've encountered quite a few drawbacks with this EV. I've also said personally, yeah, it drives great. It's got wonderful torque to it, and I like that initial torque on the car. However, it lacks any, well, it doesn't have any soul or passion or anything about it, does it? I've said numerous times that it's like going to bed with Anne Hathaway, who I really fancy, but she's lying there and she doesn't say anything. She doesn't make a noise or a murmur or even a smile, and that's it. She's just there, and then after that's it, she goes, oh, okay, is that it then, good night, and rolls over and goes to sleep. That's an electric car. Anyway, this is the longest intro ever, so hit the subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications when I upload new videos. That thing in front is coughing out fumes. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go. So there are lots of news stories and reasons online why you should not buy an electric car. There's also people telling you why you should buy an electric car. It's a little bit like Android and Apple, isn't it? It's like a fight between one and the other. And then you've got the Tesla users in there as well, the Tesla drivers, who just there, well, they're the Unix people or the Linux of people, aren't they? They think they're above everybody else. They're basically a religion to themselves, although they're laughing now on the other side of their face now that they're laying off people and not selling as many cars, and the share price is going down. You don't hear much of them now. Used to get, should have bought a Tesla, should have bought a Tesla. Not so much these days. Anyway, we're going to head down to Ionity to charge my car up, because at the moment I'm in Leeds at my girlfriend's house. There is no charger there. We've not had a charger installed. I'm in the midst of, because I've got my own house as well, moving house. I'm going to have to put a charger in there in my new house, so I'm going to get that put in shortly. That Land Rover's really got in the back of my throat. You're going to get all the electric car people now going, see, you need cleaner fuels, that's what you need. Anyway, there's lots of myths and lots of stories about why you shouldn't get an electric car. Interestingly enough, a viewer sent me, I think it's 25 reasons why you shouldn't buy an electric car, and I thought, you know what, some of these are true and some of them aren't. After owning an electric car for almost 3 years, I'm going to go through them with you when we get to Ionity, when I charge my car up. I'm also going to let you know exactly how much this has cost me. At the moment I'm at 28%. I've got 67 miles of range. We've got 9.9 miles to get to Ionity. So we're going to see how much that actually costs me. It is subsidised by Porsche Ioniteers, so it will be a cheaper price. So you can work that out, how many miles I get and what it's actually cost me. And what it would roughly cost in if you filled a tank up with petrol. Anyway, let's get there. Let's get this charged up and let's go through these reasons why you shouldn't buy an electric car. Oh, by the way, I've got some road trips coming up. I know lots of people like the road trips in the electric cars, etc. I've just had to spend a little bit of time in the UK at the moment. Got a few things that I need to stop in the UK for. So I'm going to be filming a few videos around the UK for the next few weeks. However, I am looking at going back over to the States and driving from the East Coast to the West Coast in the next couple of months. In an electric car, so that should be quite interesting. I think it's going to be a Tesla. Reason being is I've had a lot of Americans, now I know I have a lot of Americans that are watching, who've said if you do it in a non-Tesla car, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. If you live in the States, let me know what it's like. If you have an EV and it's a non-Tesla car, let me know what it's like around the United States to drive an EV that's not a Tesla. And also, if you have a Tesla as well, let me know what your charging network is like there and whether I have any issues driving over from the East Coast to the West Coast with a Tesla. I don't think I will, but it will be kind of interesting. I wanted to do Route 66, but I don't think Route 66 is actually going to have a good charging network along the way, if any. And I think a lot of it now, some of the Route 66 isn't actually there anymore. But I'm going to film it all. That's going to be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to that. I'll only be driving one way. I'll be hiring a car from either New York or Chicago. I'm thinking Chicago to Los Angeles, because there's a song, isn't it, from Chicago to LA? So that's what I think. I'm going to do that rather than go from New York. And I've never been to Chicago, so could be quite interesting to have a look around as well. So if you are new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button and don't miss out on that one. That is a definite this year. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it, and I've already started looking at where I'm going to get the who I'm going to rent the cars off of, because there are a lot of rental car companies over in the US now that have disposed and got rid of their electric cars because they said nobody wants them and it's costing them money, so they've got rid of them. So it's going to be a difficult one. I've found a couple of places where I can actually get them. Or if you're a Tesla dealership and you want to loan me an electric car, or you're a motor dealer over there in the US and you want to loan me an electric car and I'll give you a little bit of promotion on it, let me know, and I'll gladly do that as well, because it's going to be a fun drive. It's going to have to be over about 3 weeks, I think, because I'm going to try and upload the videos along the way. A lot of people doing videos at the moment on the new Ford Capri. M-Guy, Australia, Jeff Buys Cars, and I have to say, it was interesting because I saw the new Ford Capri advertised on TikTok. It was a commercial that they'd done where they'd got the old Ford Capri and they'd got catalogue shots of the old Ford Capri on there, morphing into the new one, etc., and archive shots, etc. And they'd actually turned the comments off.
The new all-electric Ford Capri. The legend is back.
On that TikTok video, they turned the comments off, and I said to Jeff Buys Cars, look at this, they've turned the comments off. Now to me, that says they have had so much negative feedback on that commercial and what they put up there on that video. They've literally had to turn the comments off. Ford, if you're watching, tweet this to Ford. You are a disgrace. You should be put in a room, the designers of that Ford Capri should be put in a room with James Corden, naked, both of you, in a room for a year. That's it, for a year, eating nothing but tofu. That's what your punishment should be. Obviously, James Corden has nothing to do with that, so we'd have to pay him for that. Anyway, so that is your punishment. What a terrible, heinous crime that you have committed by designing a new car and calling it a Capri. I grew up with that car. My dad had one. The professionals drove it. Minder drove it drove that car, the first generation I think it was, wasn't it, of Minder. Dennis Waterman, and now they wouldn't be, who's going to be driving that thing around? I mean, come on, who would drive that around? It looks pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself, Ford. That first the Mustang and now the Capri. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, that's my rant over. I should rant longer because I loved the Ford Capri. I loved it. I mean, it was the car you always promised yourself.
Ford Capri, the car you always promised yourself.
That one's the car you'll always, that you promise that you'll never buy. I mean, good grief. What is it? Oh, ugh. I mean, I'm sorry. One last thing about that Capri, right? I would rather rub wasabi on the end of my passion pole than sit or be seen anywhere near that car. It is gross. It's it makes me feel ill. Makes me feel a bit ill. By the way, I'm recording this and filming this in July, 14th of July, middle of summer. And it's 14 degrees outside and cold and raining and grey. But that's England. Hey, there we go. Gotta look on the bright side. There's always sun above those clouds, layers of them. I have to say, I don't know whether it's just me, but I've had this car now, I think coming up on about 2.5, coming up to 3 years. And I have to say, I have noticed a decrease in when I charge it up in the actual range that I'm getting. And it's a little bit like with your mobile phone, isn't it? With your iPhone, you'll notice that the charge doesn't seem to last as long. You'll charge your iPhone up and initially you'd be getting a full day out your iPhone, but now after about a year or two of owning the iPhone, then you think, oh, it's actually not lasting. I'm not getting the whole way through the day. I'm having to charge up. And I'm experiencing that with this Porsche Taycan now as well. I'm having the same issue with that. I can see when I charge it up, the range, I'm not getting as much range. You are supposed to get more range in the summer, but we've not really had a summer, so it's difficult to tell. You know, we're in an era now where you don't really know what to believe. I do, personally, because if it's spouted by the mainstream media, by the BBC or ITV or Sky News or CNN, it's normally the absolute opposite of what they're saying, because it's all it's manipulation, isn't it? In my opinion, I will say that it's manipulation. You're manipulated into buying things and doing certain things by the mainstream media. They will tell you certain things and you'll think, oh yeah, and you'll believe it, because we've been brought up to believe that. We've been brought up to believe that whatever the BBC says or the media says or the newspapers say is fact, when really half the time it's absolute lies that they're spouting. We're on the radio bombarded with commercials and adverts for electric cars. I guarantee you that in this video of mine here, you have seen, unless you have YouTube Premium, by the way, which is excellent, highly recommend that, then you don't have to be subjected to any commercials. It's worth every penny, and you get picture in picture, and I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, but I'm running out of breath now. YouTube Premium is the way to go. You will see a commercial, you will see an advert for an electric car, probably not one, but maybe 2 or 3 adverts, or maybe even more now. Put in the comment section if you've seen a commercial in this video for an electric car, because what they'll try and do is brainwash you into thinking, oh, I do need an electric car because I'm telling you not to buy an electric car. I'm saying enough of this complete bull that we're being brainwashed with, right? And I know in the comment section you're going to say, oh, you did a video about the Taycan, it was a great car. Of course it was a great car. It's £100,000. Yes, it's a great car, but it still lacks the charisma and the soul of an engine, and also the convenience of just filling up and going on your way. Now the new 911 is out. It's hybrid. It's a self-charging hybrid, and personally I think that's not a bad thing, because it gives you that extra boost as well from the power and the torque, and also you've got the engine as well. So for me, I think that is probably the way to go. And all this net zero and stuff that we're being told, etc., yet the powers that be still fly around in a private jet. I've said it many a time. It's enough now. We need to put our foot down and say enough is enough. No, we're not doing it. We're all being brainwashed into it, and we're all going to end up not driving at all. Right, we are here now. We're at Ionity. I'm at 58 miles. I've got 58 miles of range left, 24% of battery, and I'm going to go and charge up at Ionity, and then we're going to go through the reasons why. Where are we here? Cars, vans, caravans. Go down here. The reasons why you should not buy an electric car, and it's 25 reasons that one of the viewers has actually sent me, and some of them might sound a bit comical, but some of them are actually real, what I've encountered. So we're going to go through them. Well, let's turn in here. Come on, you can go. Hybrid Toyota. Is it a Toyota or a Nissan? They all look the same, don't they? Right, now you will see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars charging up. We've got a what's pretending to be a Ford Mustang, but isn't really a Ford Mustang. It's a Ford electric car with the words Mustang on it that looks like a piece of, I'm not even going to say it, it looks dreadful. And then we've got something else. There's a little car, it doesn't look too bad, that one. A Cooper, is it, or something? I don't know. BMWs are waiting. BMW, what have you done to your grille? It looks bloody awful. It looks terrible. It looks like Beavis's nostrils or whatever. It's terrible. Is it Beavis or Butthead's nostrils? One of them. They look like, it just looks dreadful, awful. But anyway, we're now waiting. We're sat here waiting. It's now 7 minutes past 2, and 2 people ahead of me are waiting to charge. Or is there a third one there, a Tesla? This is ridiculous. Right, let's turn the milk float off. I think I'm going to go and get myself a, I don't know, iced coffee or something while we're waiting. But the only issue is now you're going to have a fight on your hands, because who's actually waiting? There's no sort of like number to get in next. And I have seen fights before where they've gone, I was there before you, I was waiting before you. And this is the reality. It's pathetic. I mean, look, life is short and we're wasting time. This is what we're subjected to. Come on. Tell you what, it's really weird, isn't it? Because when I went in there to get a coffee, it was grey, and now the lighting's changed. It's blue sky, there's hardly any clouds, and there's only 2 people on the chargers. I'll let you into a little secret, all right? So I've had to buy another coffee as well, so I do need a thumbs up for this one, because it's the next day. I got back, I did all the footage, I recorded everything, and my microphone on this camera, I'd got the wrong settings on from another video that I'd done, so you couldn't hear me, which was probably would be a bonus actually. But I got all the footage inside the car, so I'm going to re-record this part where I actually read you why you shouldn't buy an electric car, and then I'm going to edit in the other clips from yesterday where I got back in the car and managed to charge up, and I'll tell you as well how long it actually took. If we find out here, let's just go, where are we? So basically I entered the car park yesterday. You're gonna have to bear with me. I know I've got the same clothes on, however I have got new underwear, because I know somebody's going to put that in the comments. I got into the car park yesterday at 2:07 when I entered the car park, and I started charging the car at 2:45, right? So 2:45 I managed to get into the charger and get to a spare charger, and I finished charging at 3:35, right? 3:35. So that's almost, what, an hour and a half that it took to get charged. I got about, I think I got up to about 98% charge. It took 49 minutes to charge the car. 49 minutes to charge the car. So anyway, we'll go back into that in a minute and we'll edit them bits in. Interestingly enough as well, I actually got my radiation counter, and I'm going to do this again today because it was through the roof. I tested underneath these pylons that go overhead of the ionity chargers, and the electromagnetic radiation was through the roof. I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to do that again for you as well. Anyway, let me give you a list of drawbacks on EVs and why you should not buy an EV. Now this is sent to me by a viewer, so I'm going to actually, there's 25 of them, and I'm actually going to tell you, in my opinion, and let's just get this right for YouTube, right? This is in my opinion from the experience that I've had from owning an electric car, on whether or not these are drawbacks and if I've had any drawbacks with them. So number one, they are too expensive to buy. Yes, they are. They are more expensive than an equivalent petrol or diesel car. Obviously mine's really expensive, it's a Porsche. Number two, they depreciate quicker than a sinking drain. £30,000 per year in the case of a Porsche Taycan. I can 100% tell you, yes, they do depreciate quicker than a normal car. Number three, spare parts are hard to get. I can also say that they are harder to get than a normal car. It's new technology. I know somebody who was on one of my videos who picked up a Skoda, and he had a Ioniq, and he had to send it back because they couldn't get the parts for the car. So that is correct. There is some truth in that. Spare parts are too expensive. Number four, they are more expensive. Again, it's newer technology that may change over time. Insurance is high or difficult to get. Never found it difficult to get insurance for an electric car. Mine's always, I've got it fine. It is slightly higher. I don't know why, but yes, it is higher than the normal petrol or diesel one. Tyres wear out faster because of the car's weight. They do seem to wear out faster, and they are special tyres as well. And I know a lot of people say, no, you don't have special tyres. Yes, you do have different tyres for an electric car because of the weight. And I spoke to a tyre fitter on one of my videos in a previous video, and he actually showed me a leaflet and also the details of it. So yes, they do wear out faster. And I can tell you that myself from having an electric car. Good grief, it is actually a little bit warm. I'll tell you what, it's warmer today. I kept this on for continuity, but now because I've told you that it's a different day, I'm going to take that off because I'm absolutely roasted. I'll just put that on the roof there a minute. Right, okay, so where were we? Road tax will go up because of the weight of the car. It causes damage to the road surfaces. Do you know what? I don't know whether there's any truth in that. I mean, lorries are on the road and they're way heavier than a car. So is there really any truth in that? I don't know. What else have we got here? Services, inspections really are a rip-off. £750 to look under the car and report your tyres wearing down. £750 for a Porsche. I think you'll probably find your Tesla owners say that they don't pay for a service. I don't think they have services on a Tesla. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask Tesla owners. Let me know in the comment section. Number 9, software takes control out of the owner's hands. Yes, you think like lane assist. It sort of like whips the car out of your hand, but you can turn them systems off. But it's the same with everything nowadays, isn't it? Software. It's all software based. Number 10, difficulties in cold weather. Heating reduces the range of the car and the batteries won't charge in the cold, or if you do, it does damages to them. It does take longer to charge in cold weather, but you can precondition your batteries and heat them up, and the batteries don't last as long in cold weather, so cold weather does have an impact on an electric car. You are right. But then again, does diesel freeze? I don't know. New battery costs more than the car's value. That's number 11. Correct. My car's now worth, I think, about 30 odd grand, and the battery is, a replacement battery for it is £45,000 plus fitting. Number 12, charging eats your time on longer journeys, and they are not always on your route, so extra distance is added to the trips. I can say that it does add extra time on your route. Yesterday, as I've just said, was it 50 odd minutes or something, an hour and a half if you're waiting for the charger, and you have to come out of your way for the charger itself. And then we've got costs, charging costs. My watch is listening to me. Charging costs are increasing road size. Yes, they are. Charging costs are increasing. They are putting the prices up. I think you'll find that InstaVolt and GridServe are probably amongst some of the most expensive ones that I've found anyway. Finding a charge point, or one that works, away from home is almost impossible. It's not really impossible. You do get to some that are not working, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. 15, when you find a charger, there will nearly always be a queue. Yesterday when I came, there was a queue. This morning it is now 9:45 and there's two chargers available at the moment, but at busy times you will find that you are queuing. However, my mate David Joyce also told me of another place nearer here that isn't Ionity, that's still on the Porsche charging card, near a garden centre that you can go to, that is not as busy as the Ionity one, so you just have to sort of like plan your journey. God, I sound like an evangelist now, don't I? We've got number 16. Now, I agree with this one. Charge points require an app and mobile phone with a data connection, a signal, etc. Also, you can't pay with cash. No, there are no charges that you can pay for with cash. They're all contactless or with an app. And a lot of them are app based, and it annoys me because you're downloading a BP app, or you're downloading an Ionity app, or you're downloading a GridServe app, and it's annoying. I don't understand it. What's wrong with just, obviously you can't have cash, just contactless? Why would you need an app? They want to sign you up, get your data, and use it, and that annoys me. We have got number 17, no resale value because batteries only last 3 to 4 years. Well, they don't only last 3 to 4 years. My car's now nearly 3 years old and it's fine. It is reducing a little bit. When I charge, it's actually not it's not lasting as long. Basically, the battery's not lasting quite as long. Number 18, mechanics can't or won't work on them. Well, some mechanics, I know some mechanics who will not work on electric cars. One of them is in Australia and watches this channel, and you know who you are, and I stayed with him while I was over there in Perth. But there we go, I won't mention his name, just in case. You can mention your name though, but he won't work on electric cars because he feels that they're dangerous. We've got number 19, domestic smart meters control what time of day you can charge up and what cost that will be. No, my domestic charge meter, I can charge it whenever I like, but whether that changes in the future, I don't know. The price of electricity is going up, and it's going to outstrip the cost of other fuels per trip, especially during the day. I believe that, yep, electricity companies are reeling it in, and all the big fat cats there are all getting their bonuses. Well, all of us turn the heating off and stop using appliances because we can't afford the electric bills. So yes, it is going to go up and up. Number 21, if there is more than one car in the family, accessing the home charger has to be rationed. Now this is interesting. If you've got more than one electric car, is there a charger that will charge 2 cars up at the same time, like a dual charger? I don't know. Let me know in the comments section. Having to buy a home charger in the first place, domestic chargers break down, costly to repair or replace. My charger cost me about 1,200 quid, I think, but that was a really expensive one and a trendy one. I believe now you can get them a lot cheaper, so I don't think they're that expensive anymore to fit. Number 23, they spontaneously burst into a ball of flames that can't be extinguished until all the energy is dissipated. I've never actually seen an electric car on fire, I have to say. I know they're allegedly more difficult to put out, but I haven't seen one on fire. I've seen a diesel on fire. My diesel BMW burst into flames under the engine on the way down to London once, many years back. But there we go. Number 24, if you live in a block of flats, you won't be able to charge at home unless you have a car park with a charger, but we'll have to share. And number 25, if you lived in a terrace house or a house without a drive, you can't always park close to your house. Even if you could, there's the problem of electric cables over footpaths, etc, etc. So yes, there are downsides to electric cars. And would I advise getting an electric car? I wouldn't personally, no. As I've said, I like the way that they drive, but the convenience of them, it's just annoying. I mean, you're waiting around for charge points at busy times, you're wasting money on coffee, etc. By the way, £5 for an iced coffee. That's ridiculous. Right, anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to me yesterday, getting in the car and driving up. So I'll see you guys back here in a minute on the day after. So let's put we're salvaging this video. Here we go. Right, let's get in. I'm not putting my seatbelt on. Come on, get out of the way. Go then. Go, 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 go. Car on. Come on, milk float on. Here we go. Right, let's get in before anybody else does. Yeah, it puts you on edge. It gives you stress. You've got to get in there before anybody else does. Right, get as close as I can. Here we go. Right, milk float off. The people next to me in that Mustang, they're just shoving the faces with food. Right, so at this point now I ended up plugging the car in. So I ended up plugging the car in. That was fine. Took a little while to communicate with the car, etc. And then I ended up waiting around while it charged up and pacing up and down. So I'll show you a few little clips of that, and I'll see you again in a minute. Right, and then what I did after pacing up and down, I thought what I'll do is I'll use this electromagnetic radiation tester, because we're right under some pylons here with lots of electricity around, and also behind these ionity boards here there's power stations behind there charging that allow the charge for the cars, etc. So I'm going to switch this on and you'll hear immediately. Here we go. So let's have a wander around and I'll show you the readings that are coming from this pylon and these chargers, and it is quite alarming. Right, I don't know whether you can see this because of the light, but we're at 47, 48, 50 at the top and 21.3 at the bottom there. I don't know whether you can actually see it. Can you see that? We're going to go closer to this pylon. Right, we're right underneath these pylons now. Wow, 70. I don't know whether you can actually see the readings, it's so bright. Here we go, let's go right under this pylon. 50 at the top and 15 at the bottom. The top one is electrical field and the bottom one's magnetic field. And now we're right near the chargers. 31, 25. Now as I move away from that pylon and these chargers, you will see that it should, yep, it's now stopping. We've got pretty much, a little bit, 5.1 and 0. So there we go. Right, let's get back to the car. That, I have to say, is quite alarming. Although the video where I actually did a video on the electromagnetic fields, lots of people in the comment section said it's not harmful, but it does say that online. It says there's no evidence to provide. There's no evidence to there's no evidence to provide that there is any effects or harmful effects from electromagnetic fields. But then that is, you know, well, I'm not going into it. Controversial. And I haven't got my tinfoil hat on. So anyway, we're going to leave it there. I'm going to go back to me now in the car, which took quite a long while to charge. And this is going back to me yesterday when it was clouded over. Loving the sunshine today. You can figure out how much it's cost. I'll let you know how much it cost. And also how long it took, which was about an hour and a half in the long run. Absolutely madness, when you could have just gone over there to the service station, the petrol station, filled up and be on your way. You imagine if you were here with kids and a family and you've got kids screaming, they want to get home. It just doesn't work, does it? It's crazy. Anyway, back to me in the car and I'll see you in a minute. Do you know what? I've got a 5G signal and nothing. It can't connect to the server because there's no internet, even with a 5G signal. Right, I'll let you know in a minute. 97% of charge, 234 miles of range. I'm going to get back because Sarah's going to wonder where the heck I've actually got to. I was just charging my car for that amount of time. Absolutely crazy. So hopefully by the time I get back, I've got a signal. 5G, by the way, I have to say, is crap. It was better when we had 4G. Since we've had 5G, the blooming phones have got worse. You can't get a signal, you get cut off all the time. What is going on with the world? So, I'm going to see you in a minute and we'll figure out when I get back to Sarah's whether I can work out how much it's actually cost me. Ridiculous, can't get a blooming signal. Right, I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay, so we have got the price here as well, so I'm going to let you know what it is now. It cost me £19.56. Here's a copy of the receipt that's been downloaded. There you go, £19.56 pence, 65.18 kilowatts there. The start time was 2:45 and the end time was 3:35. 49 minutes duration charging. However, don't forget that it actually it took me ages to get onto the charger, didn't it? So before I actually started to charge. So that's the reality of owning an electric car after I've owned one for coming up to 3 years now, and why you shouldn't buy, you should never buy an electric car yourself, because you're basically going to waste your life looking around for chargers, waiting for your car to charge. You're arguing with other people that's got electric cars on who got there first, although I was very courteous today and let the lady go before me, because I'd left and I'd gone to get a coffee. That's all from me today. Do me a favor, just hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's down there somewhere. Click the subscribe button, click the little bell as well, that'll tell you when I've uploaded a video. Also, give it a thumbs up, give this video a thumbs up, because what that does is push it out to YouTube as well, and share it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it's called, and get it out there and send it to your friends and show people who are maybe thinking of buying an electric car as to why not to buy one. Don't let the government keep telling us and brainwashing us, saying that we need an electric car when we clearly don't. They don't drive them themselves. Stop it. Don't buy one. And I guarantee you in this video there will be advertisements for electric cars. That's all from me today. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. There's a lady there walking with a dog with a bag of poo. I don't understand that. Mind you, I could think of worse things, like having an electric car. I'm driving around in a bag of poo.